At just 23 years old, rising actress Isabelle Tate was finally seeing her dreams come to life. After years of hard work, countless auditions, and the kind of determination only true artists have, she had just landed her very first television role, a part on 911 Nashville. But just days after filming her first episode, everything changed. News broke that Isabelle had suddenly passed away, and fans were left heartbroken, confused, and searching for answers. Who was this young woman whose life ended before it even began to unfold? What really happened to the actress everyone on set described as pure light? Her story is one of promise, tragedy, and quiet strength, and the truth behind her passing reveals something far more complicated than anyone expected. Because as it turns out, the same rare disease that once forced country legend Alan Jackson to announce his retirement had also been quietly threatening Isabelle's life. And by the time anyone realized, it was already too late. Isabelle Tate's story begins far from the flashing lights of Hollywood. She grew up in Tennessee, surrounded by the kind of small-town simplicity that shapes big dreamers. Friends remember her as the kind of person who made every room brighter, ambitious, grounded, and always talking about someday making it on screen. She didn't come from a family of actors or industry insiders. Everything she achieved, she earned through persistence and quiet determination. Those who knew her in college at Middle Tennessee State University say she had a kind of focus that stood out. She wasn't chasing fame, she was chasing purpose. Acting for her wasn't about spotlight or attention. It was about storytelling, about making people feel something. After graduating, she set her sights on auditioning full-time. Her friends recall her excitement every time she got a callback, the nerves before each taped audition, and her belief that every no was one step closer to a yes. And that yes finally came when she booked her very first acting role, the moment that was supposed to mark the beginning of everything. But as she celebrated this dream come true, no one could have imagined that her time in the spotlight would be so heartbreakingly brief. After years of dreaming, Isabelle Tate finally got the call that changed everything. She'd landed a part on 911 Nashville, a brand new series blending action, emotion, and the kind of Southern storytelling she grew up loving. For Isabelle, it wasn't just a role, it was validation, proof that her dedication had paid off. She played Julie, a young woman in a wheelchair attending a strip show, a small but powerful role that required empathy, sensitivity, and depth. Casting crew later said Isabelle embodied the part with quiet grace, even though it was her first time on a professional set. For most actors, the first job is just the beginning. For Isabelle, it felt like destiny, the opening chapter of a long and promising career. She told friends she wanted to use her craft to highlight stories that were often overlooked. She believed acting could make people feel seen, understood, and connected. But just as that door opened, life had something else in store, something no one could have predicted. On October 19th, the world of those who knew Isabelle came to a standstill. Word spread quietly at first, messages of concern, confusion, disbelief. Then came the heartbreaking confirmation. Isabelle Tate had passed away. She was just 23 years old. Her family's statement was short and tender. They described her passing as peaceful, asking for privacy as they faced what they called a sudden and shocking loss. Friends, fans, and fellow actors flooded social media with disbelief. How could someone so young, so full of life, be gone so soon? It didn't feel real. One week she was celebrating her first big role. The next, her name was on memorial pages and tributes. At first, no one knew what had happened. There was no car accident, no headline-grabbing event, just silence and sorrow. Then, days later, her talent agency released the truth. And that's when the picture of what really happened began to unfold. The McRae Agency, which had represented Isabelle since her teen years, revealed that she had passed away from a rare form of Charcot-Marie Tooth disease, often shortened to CMT. It's not a name many people recognize, and that's exactly why her story matters. CMT is a rare, progressive neurological disorder that affects the muscles and nerves. It slowly weakens the arms, legs, and the body's ability to move freely. Over time, it can cause severe balance issues, loss of strength, and fatigue. In many cases, it's manageable, but in others, it can become dangerously complicated, a fight the body eventually can't win. What makes this even more striking is that country legend Alan Jackson revealed in 2021 that he too suffers from the same disease. Jackson called it a lifelong condition that impacts his ability to stand, walk, and perform. But Isabelle's version was different. Her agency described it as a rare form of the illness, one that affected multiple systems and organs, something few even knew existed. Her passing wasn't the result of a sudden event. It was the quiet battle of a young woman fighting something invisible, something she never let define her. When news of Isabelle's passing broke, her agency shared a heartfelt post that read, "We are deeply saddened and completely heartbroken to share that Isabelle Tate passed away on October 19th. She was 23. The statement went on to say how she had just booked her first TV series, her first audition since returning to acting, and how much joy that brought her. Actor Hunter McVeigh, who starred alongside Isabelle in 911 Nashville, released his own emotional message. He admitted he didn't know her before filming, but that her presence made one of his first days on set unforgettable. He described her as supportive, calm, and kind, someone who radiated confidence without ever trying to. After each take, she'd give a small smile or a quick word of encouragement. Those little moments stuck with him. He said, "I got the pleasure of talking with her after the scene, and she had such a great energy. You could tell she brought joy to a lot of people. It wasn't just her talent that left an impression, it was her heart." Though Isabelle's time was tragically short, her story continues to touch lives. Her performance will forever live on in the pilot episode of 911 Nashville, a permanent mark of her talent and spirit. Her agency encouraged fans and friends to honor her memory by donating to the Charcot-Marie Tooth Association, helping others affected by the same condition. Through those donations, awareness spreads, awareness for a disease that's often overlooked and misunderstood. And for many who watched her rise, Isabelle's story is a reminder that sometimes the people who shine the brightest are the ones carrying silent battles we never see. Her life reminds us that kindness, ambition, and light can make an impact, even if it's for a short time. In the end, Isabelle Tate's story isn't just about loss, it's about legacy. A young woman from Tennessee who refused to give up on her dream, who landed her first role only to leave this world before the world truly knew her. It's easy to measure success in fame or years lived, but Isabelle's story proves that meaning comes from the mark we leave behind, the joy we bring, the people we inspire, the light we carry even when no one's watching. Sometimes the brightest stars don't burn for long, but even after they fade, their light continues to guide others. Isabelle Tate was one of those stars.